Welcome to another episode of the Bear Archery Podcast. I've got for you the monthly Train Wild special, and I've got a special guest, Mr. Jake Powers from MTN Ops, and we're going to talk about supplementation. Now, before you stop and just say, I'm not a bodybuilder, I'm not an athlete, I don't need to take supplements, don't turn it off because we talk about just some everyday supplements that everybody should take. The importance of multivitamins, the importance of hydration mix, some incredible products like Ignite that I just take right before a podcast or right before I preach or right before I'm going to study for something. We talk about all of those types of things. We talk about benefits of supplementation. And again, this is not for the person who wants to be a bodybuilder or a professional CrossFitter. This is for everyday people that just want to live a happier, healthier lifestyle. We do talk about supplements for the mountain. So if you're headed to, Colorado, Idaho, Montana, wherever you've got your elk tag for September, we talk about some supplements that are going to really make a difference for you on the mountain. Guys, here's what I want to tell you. MTN Ops not only makes incredible products that you can stand behind, but they're also an incredible company that you can stand behind. With their initiative for Conquer Hunger, they have donated over 6 million meals to hungry children. And that's all because of us spending money on their website. They donate a meal. No matter how much you spend, every order that you place on MTN Ops is going to feed hungry children. Whether it's one hat, one shirt, or whether you spend $1,000, you are going to help feed hungry children through Conquer Hunger. They're an incredible Christian company. I can stand behind their beliefs and I can support them as a company. Guys, I would highly encourage you, if you're going to buy supplements from anywhere, buy them from someone that not only makes great supplements, but buy them from somebody that you can support. MTNOps.com. You can even use code TYPICAL, that's all caps typical, to save you a whole bunch of money on your order. Guys, as always, Train Wild is presented to you and brought to you by our good friends over at Mountain Tough. If you are preparing for the mountain, then you know a lot of work goes into that. Mountain Tough just makes it easier by giving you detailed programs to help you conquer that mountain and crush the mountain. I went on a spring bear hunt in Montana, ran myself up and down the mountain. And I can tell you one thing. I was thankful that I had been doing Mountain Tough before I got there. So guys, go check out Mountain Tough. They're an incredible company as well. But they're going to help you with detailed programs to help you conquer the mountain and be successful on the mountain. But guys, let's tune in and have a good conversation with Mr. Jake Powers.
With over 90 years of innovation, Bear Archery continues pushing toward the goal of founder Fred Bear, making archery accessible for all. Fred believed the history of the bow and arrow were the history of mankind, and everyone should immerse themselves in the outdoor experience. Welcome to the Bear Archery Podcast, where the mission is simple: to hunt, grow, and inspire others.
Guys, I'm an arrow junkie. I love arrows. And I have found a fondness for deer crossing archery. Everybody makes a good arrow. I'm not saying that anybody out there makes a bad arrow. But what really sets deer crossing archery apart is when I call them, I'm going to get, the owner on the phone. I'm going to get the guy that's building my arrows on the phone. And they're going to walk me through a complete custom build. They're not shipping me a box of arrows that they ship out to everybody. I'm going to pick my knot colors, my fletching colors, my wrap colors, the fletching configuration I want on the arrows. Not only that, I'm going to walk him through my setup. I'm going to walk him through what I'm looking to get out of the setup. I'm going to tell him total arrow length I want to be hitting, total arrow weight I want to be hitting, total insert-outsert weight I want to be hitting, FOC, and he's going to custom build a set of arrows and send them to me. My arrows aren't going to be best for you. Your arrows aren't going to be best for me. We need custom arrows. Deer Crossing Archery builds those arrows custom for you, and they always perform. Their silencer shaft is my favorite arrow on planet Earth. I've shot 40 plus animals with that arrow. It always performs. It always blows through the animal. I always get great penetration. It's a micro diameter shaft. They do have a full line of shafts. The new Rupture arrow is a phenomenal arrow. I shot a deer with it this year in Missouri. I love their arrows. Guys, I would highly encourage you to check out Deer Crossing Archery, because you don't have to go to a box store and buy a set of arrows that are just made from the factory. You can get arrows custom made for you that are going to work best for you and your setup. Guys, use code hunting101 to get a discount at Deer Crossing Archery. I would highly encourage you to check them out. They are phenomenal. So we got the real Jake Powers. That's not a nickname. That's not a gimmick. That's his real name. I know it sounds like a superhero from a book that had some radioactive surgery and come out like a beast, but that's his real name, Jake Powers. Jake, how are you, man?
I'm great. It's nice and muggy here in Indiana, and it's been a pretty wet summer so far, so I'm hoping the antler growth is on par.
Yeah, the same is true here, dude. It is all week long. It's been 104 plus. Our lowest high of the week was 104, and being that my gym is in my garage, it's absolutely sucked. But here we are.
No, these are the best times, because I for one hate working out cold, and so being sweaty and miserable, it's perfect. It's perfect. But today's the marks of 1 month until it's go time out west. So getting a lot of time in the gym right now, and starting to spend a lot of reps on the bow, and sending a lot down range to hopefully be ready in 30 days.
Yeah, 30 days. I actually booked my hunt last part of September, so I've got a little bit longer to wait, but I sure am getting excited. It's getting close. But I wanted to talk with Jake. So Jake, before we jump in, give us your introduction, man. What you do at Mountain Ops and kind of how you got there.
Sure. It was a long job interview, and the reason why I say that, how far back do you want me to start? I've been around the brand now going on 8.5 years, and we just celebrated our 10-year anniversary. So I've been around the brand almost since its infancy, and as an ambassador for about 6 years. I grew up hunting and fishing, grew up in the outdoor space. My dad was a Grand National turkey caller. So being in that outdoor space was always something that I wanted to do from a profession perspective, but not necessarily something that I set out to do. After college, playing college football in Indiana or at Indiana, I went straight into the medical space, went into the sales space, and had a lot of fun doing that. But when once we had our oldest, his name's Trigger. Once we had our oldest about 6 years ago, it became pretty realistic that being gone Monday through Friday was not going to work for my wife or me, really. And so while I was doing med sales, believe it or not, I'd always had dreams of just being involved in the outdoor space. And so I met a lot of really great people in the outdoor space, kind of moonlighting as whether it was a stand-in model for photo shoots back when we used to do a lot of those, to helping hang tree stands on people's farms and being asked to help. And then one thing led to another, and I got introduced to a gentleman by the name of Greg Ritz. And Greg Ritz, as we now know, as a lot of people are just now finding out, just recently purchased back Thompson Center. So now he is now the owner of one of the foremost leaders in the black powder space. But he also owns another company called Wildcom that's an agency that manages the business portfolios of basically the top 10 shows on the outdoor channels, or the top 10 producers in the outdoor channel space. And so Greg and I connected through friends of friends. And next thing you know, I was working as his vice president of sales and managing those platforms. All the while, I was introduced to Mountain Ops by, of all people, one of my groomsmen, one of my best friends, who went to grade school with our CEO, Trevor Farnes. And at that time, Trevor was trying to get Mountain Ops off the ground in the hunt space. And my buddy, who knows nothing about hunting, introduced me to Trevor, and we formulated a relationship. He sent me some product to use. I immediately fell in love with it. And that's where it all started. So if I'm thinking about it correctly, I want to say it was 2016 was the year that I was introduced to the brand. And in that time, as an ambassador and becoming a fixture when it came to the brand, Trevor started asking me if I ever had aspirations to move to Utah, which I don't. I like cornfields. I like humid weather, inclement weather that never knows what it's doing. But when the conversation changed, obviously post-COVID, there's a lot more remote opportunities. I was home 6 days in June. So even if I did move to Utah, I wasn't going to be in Utah. I was going to be on the road somewhere. So they created an opportunity for me to stay in Indiana. And from there, as the director of community, it's been a wild 2 years so far.
That's cool, man. I wanted to here's where I think this conversation will be beneficial, because I represent 90% of Americans when it comes to their goals and aspirations for the gym and health and dieting. Because here's the deal. I don't want to be a bodybuilder. Don't care to be less than 10% body fat. Don't care to be as strong as I can be. I want to look good naked, and I want to feel better in life. Like, that's my only two goals. Like, live longer, feel better, and then just overall look better, feel better, and live a happier, healthier lifestyle. And then on the hunting side of things, obviously be more successful on the mountain. Those are my only two. Those are my goals. And so as far as the general public, most people, they don't have aspirations to stand on a stage. They don't have aspirations to compete at a national level in strongman. They just want to simply feel better and look better and live a longer life. And that's me. I represent 90% of Americans. And then as far as hunters go, I mean, I don't know of any hunter who would say, nah, I don't want to be successful on the mountain. Like, if that'll give me an advantage, I really don't care to do it. Every outdoorsman in the world, if it'll give them a little bit of an advantage, they want to do it. And so I think I represent every hunter on that front. But so I just wanted to dive in for our Train Wild series. We cover a lot of different things, whether it be, building a program with Mountain Tough, or whether it be keeping healthy shoulders. We got Jared Thomas coming on next month to talk about training and what he's been doing to prepare for the mountain. But I really just wanted to talk about supplementation, not necessarily diet and how to eat, but really what should, if those are your goals, to just look a little better, feel a little better, and live a happier life, what should your supplementation look like? And then as far as the outdoorsman, the hunter heading into the backcountry, what does that look like for them? And so just kind of walk me through basic supplementation for that person.
Yeah. That's a very loaded couple of questions, just mainly because when you talk supplementation to 90% of the hunters, they immediately gloss their eyes over and they're like, next. We live in a very information rich and time poor society, meaning you have all the information in the world to answer the questions that you just asked me, but no one takes the time to do it, or no one has the time to do it because it's not necessarily priority number one. So I like to start there because, again, I still live in Indiana. The Midwest hunter is me, is my friends, they are the people I surround myself with here locally. And getting the message of Mountain Ops, the culture of Mountain Ops, the products of Mountain Ops, bringing that to the Midwest has really been a big focal point of mine for a multitude of reasons. Number one, the word mountain is in our name. It's in our DNA as a company. But really, if you actually break that down, a lot of people don't realize mountain is actually a proverbial mountain that you and I both wake up to every morning. All of us wake up to either a hard job, a tough marriage, a tough situation, money issues, addiction. There's a mountain that everyone typically climbs when they wake up every day that they have to climb. And that's where the mountain comes in with our name. It's not necessarily that these products can only be used out west. And then Ops is actually outdoor performance supplements. So, without plugging Mountain Ops, I don't want this part of our conversation to be centered around product, because that, quite honestly, that's not how we sell our products. But to the other aspect of that, when it comes to our culture as a brand, we make things for the outdoorsman, right? We make things for the outdoorsman, but we also are creating a culture around our brand. And I'm proud to say that hunters, across the country are more fit than they ever have been. I like to, maybe that is one check mark that social media gets, is there's so much information out there that people can strive, as you said, to either look good naked or be the toughest man on the mountain. There's a lot of information surrounding that. But when it comes to creating a culture around our brand, that's the most important for me. And it's the hardest to do in the Midwest because we have the luxury of not having to climb a mountain to get to a tree stand, or not have to backpack our deer out when we can drive a side-by-side to them. And so that's been a tough message for me to formulate with guys like us, because most of them gloss over when they hear supplementation. Most of them gloss over when it comes to working out. My message is this. We as conservationists, and I speak for myself, but I think this message resonates with a lot of individuals like us, is we're conservationists. I have 2 boys in the house that are bloodthirsty animals. My oldest killed his first turkey at 4 years old. Now everything with a heartbeat he wants to kill. But mainly he wants to kill them to eat, because that's the coolest experience for him was when we killed that turkey, and 2 days later we had turkey nuggets. And I killed a deer last year, and next thing you know, we had backstraps for dinner. He loves that atmosphere. But the bigger point is, we as conservationists want to pass down traditions, right? We want to pass down the tradition of being a good conservationist, a good steward of the land, rule followers, providing, showing our kids dedication and passion. All of these things we want to pass down. I'm speaking specifically to the Midwesterner, maybe some out west, but specifically to the Midwesterner that says, dude, I don't need to be Cam Hanes to go to a tree stand. I don't need to be Rich Froning to go to a tree stand. This is my message for them. And it's been one it's resonated with a lot of people so far in my 2 years of kind of being a broken record, is if we're passing down all of these things to our kids, they're sponges for information, but they're also always watching what we're doing. This has nothing to do about product. They're soaking up all this information, all the things that we're doing good in the outdoor space. Why wouldn't we want to show them a healthy lifestyle? Doesn't have to be about product. It's what you're putting in your face every day. Are you smoking cigarettes every day? Are you drinking beer every day after work? Are you working out at all? Going for a walk is. I was just listening to Andrew Huberman talking about after a meal, going for a 10-minute walk and the effect that it has on your body. Which, again, you can always be learning these things. But the bigger message is that, you don't have to be Cam Hanes. You don't have to be a super athlete like Rich Froning to do the things that we do in the Midwest. But let's not think about what you're getting out of it. Let's think about what the next generation's getting out of it. And if we're showing them all of the things that involve being good hunters, stewards of the land, conservationists, why wouldn't we show them how to live a healthier lifestyle? But the caveat, or really the underlying best part of all of this is we get to hunt with them longer, because they don't have to backpack us to a tree stand. They don't have to wheel us out to a tree stand because we lived a healthy lifestyle. So that's really kind of my overarching message. I know that, again, I told you it was a loaded question you asked me. But when it comes to supplementation, I think there's a lot of areas you can go. Simply put, we've got a lot of different products that we provide, because we have a lot of different athletes and a lot of different customers. But our target demographic is obviously the outdoorsman, the outdoor enthusiast. And so to me, I think it's our products and our brand meet you where you are. If you are someone that is a high level athlete, we got stuff for you. If you're somebody like one of the winners from our recent anniversary sale that I talked to yesterday, he just likes ammo because he didn't have time to eat breakfast every morning. You can come into our brand where you are, find something that works good for you. But as it relates to hunting season, that's actually probably the for most of us in the outdoor space and your listeners, that's easily the most significant drop off of the hard work you've been doing all spring, hard work you've been doing all summer. Then deer season hits and it's Little Debbie's, Casey's Pizza, and whatever, Mountain Dew, whatever you're grabbing from the gas station. I'm as guilty as anybody of it. And so what I'm doing year over year to try and fix that is more on the nutrition side of things, trying to get, and this is really as basic as it gets, trying to get 3 square meals a day, trying to drink somewhere near a gallon of water, which is really tough on most days because I'm on the move at all times. But 3 square meals, a gallon of water a day, and at a minimum 6 to 8 hours of sleep. If you can follow those 3 things, notice I haven't talked about any product. If you can follow those 3 things for 3 weeks, you'll start to feel life changes. And that's when supplementation comes in. Supplementation comes in only when you have a regimented diet, regimented sleep, regimented water intake. Because if you don't have those 3 things and you add any brand, I don't care if it's ours, I don't care who it is, you add supplementation to a poor regimen, it's not going to work. You may feel a little bit, but it's going to be short-lived. So for me, I always tell everyone, start with those 3 basics: water, sleep, and meals. And then, our flagship product is called Ignite. It's, if you go to the gas station right now, this is a product I live on during deer season because, as you know, it's hard to keep your eyes up if you're not getting that sleep. And some of us, if we're traveling around the country trying to hunt, we lose focus, we lose sleep. We're sitting all day. We're not getting proper blood flow when we're constantly sitting in stands, or if we're up in the mountains, we're getting lactic acid burn. So Ignite's our flagship product. If any of your listeners have not heard of it, just think of it this way. You could go to a gas station and spend $3 to $4 on something, right? Something that says energy on it. It's either going to be loaded in sugar or it's going to say there's 0 sugar in it. And you can't pronounce anything on the can, right? Generally, you're going to be somewhere between 200 and 300 milligrams of caffeine, a little more than a cup of coffee. I'm a donkey with caffeine. I could drink one of those things at the gas station and fall asleep like that. What makes our Ignite product different, it does come in powder form. We do have individual stick packs that make it easy to bring to the stand with you or the mountains with you. But what's interesting and kind of unique about our product is there is 0 sugar. We started with a product called Enduro that then morphed into Ignite. And that product is a nitric oxide booster. It's got arginine and citrulline, 2 amino acids to help dilate the blood vessels, also known as a nitric oxide booster. So when you dilate the blood vessels, you get better blood flow, which is going to help to flush out the lactic acid that makes your legs burn. It helps with, I'm not a doctor, but here's some bro science for you. It will help with restless legs. It will help with neuropathy issues. More time you spend in cold weather. If you don't have proper circulation, your fingertips are numb and your hands start to kind of go in slow-mo. That's circulation. So it's got arginine, citrulline, 200 milligrams of caffeine. Most important that it does have in it, as well as a daily dose of multivitamin, is it has nootropics. And this is the one that you can't tell, if your listeners can't tell yet, I'm severely self-diagnosed ADD. My dad tried to beat it out of me as a kid, but never really went to a doctor for it. Ignite is my silver bullet. And the reason is because we have nootropics, which is a proprietary blend of mushrooms that helps with cognitive focus. And if you can't tell, I can't focus real well on one thing for a long period of time. This stuff helps. And so I generally live off Ignite. Like I said, it comes in powder form in a tub. It comes in individual stick packs. It also comes in a hot version, which is great for sitting in a blind when it's cold out, sitting in a duck blind when it's cold out. A lot of different variations. But the reason we made variations is so that anyone can use it in most situations in the outdoor space. Is that somewhat answering at least one of the questions you asked?
Yeah, no. Yeah, for sure. Touching on Ignite, like that's the problem, dude. When somebody hears supplementation, they automatically like switch to like, oh, I'm not a bodybuilder. I don't need the crap, But dude, Ignite, like you said, is like a daily driver for me. Now, I'm a massive fan of coffee. I'm a coffee connoisseur, not even just for the caffeine. I don't wake up and like, I got to have my coffee before I can function. I just really like good coffee. I'm not a drinker. I don't like fine wines and fine whiskeys and stuff. I really like good coffee. But Ignite, like you said, it gives you the benefit of not only caffeine, but of just that mental focus. And so like literally before I podcast, I'm going to drink an Ignite because it just gives you that mental focus. Everybody listens to this podcast knows I'm a preacher. I literally take one to the church and drink it on my way to church before I preach because it gives you that mental focus and just that clarity of mind. And so, my wife's a school teacher. She'll sit and drink it during school because it gives her that mental focus and just that clarity of mind as she teaches. So it's not just like I got to go to the gym and work out and train and I'm going to be a bodybuilder. That's why I use supplements. That's not it at all. Like you just said, there's guys who, simply they have an early morning job and they ain't got time for breakfast, and they need a protein shake to start the day for their breakfast. Guys, I oftentimes say that I always have a binocular harness on my chest. What good is a binocular harness without a good set of binoculars? I am a sucker for fine Japanese glass. I love good optics. I love spending time behind it. It's just fun. It's fun to go out and look at stuff, but also good optics make spotting and looking through them a whole lot more enjoyable. Kowa Optics does it and does it better than anyone else, in my opinion. They have some of the finest Japanese glass on planet Earth. It's all I've used for the past, 8 years or so. This right here, the Kowa 55, is one of the best products ever made in the history of the universe. It is the smallest, most compact scope you can get, but it still offers phenomenal glass. It's really hard to find a spotter that is this small, this light, this compact. You can throw it in your backpack. You can leave it in your truck. It's so small and so compact, but it still offers phenomenal glass. This is one of my favorite products ever. Guys, if you're in the market for new optics, I would highly encourage you to check out Kowa Optics because they are, in my opinion, the best glass that you can buy. Go check them out. Walk me through yes, Ignite is the number one product that I use, the number one product a lot of people use. Definitely going to use it on the mountain, before you start your morning and hike up the mountain, take an Ignite. But walk me through kind of like a daily breakdown as far as what you would say. So somebody calls you and they say, hey, Jake, I've got the three main things down. Like you said, I'm drinking water, I'm sleeping, I'm eating 3 good meals a day. Should I add in a multivitamin, a fish oil? Should I, creatine? What should I take? Pre-workout, post-workout, intra-workout? Walk me just through kind of a daily breakdown for just that guy that wants to just, again, they've got the 3 main things down, but they want to just feel better, look better, and live a healthier life.
Sure. So there's a couple ways to start with that. Easiest for me is if you are an active human being. If you're an active human being, a huge portion of the population is undernourished when it comes to protein intake. And of course, we're a supplement company and I'm talking about protein, right? But that's the truth. And I would actually recommend, and I would if I could, get 100% of my protein from red meat. I would if I could, but that's not always the case. And that's where something like Magnum or ammo come into the question or come into the conversation, because to be realistic, unless you're doing a hard carnivore diet, getting 100% of your protein from red meat is pretty challenging to most.
Yeah.
And so that's where, again, I'd start with protein. Number one is just tracking your protein for 2 weeks. And you'll realize that trying to get 1 gram of protein per body pound, which is to maintain your weight or maintain your muscle mass, just 1 gram of protein per body pound is actually pretty challenging, especially without using shakes and just getting it straight from meat. So I would urge all listeners, I would urge everyone, friends of mine, family of mine, weigh yourself and try to get 1 gram per body pound of protein. If it is a challenge for you, again, you want to try and get as much as you can from a red meat source. Chicken's not bad. It's just, I think the quality of chicken in the supermarket's kind of gone to crap. Thankfully, a lot of your listeners are hunters. And so like my boys and I, and my wife, we're pretty much, I would say 85, 90% deer meat or elk meat. But if they don't have that luxury, if they don't have the time that it takes to get that much red meat protein, we have 2 items: Magnum, which is 23 grams of protein, cold pressed whey protein. And then we have Ammo, which is 19 grams of protein, but it's a hack. The good hack about Ammo is that it also has your daily recommended serving of fruits and vegetables dehydrated into the powder. So when you open the bag, you actually have to put it in the fridge to remain soluble, maybe is the word. But so we have those 2 options. One's just protein, cold pressed whey protein. The other one has cold pressed whey protein plus your fruits and veggies, which adds a little more carbs. So if you have someone like you were saying, doesn't have time to eat breakfast, there's a great option for you right there. So I start with protein. Personally, I think a lot of people drink bottled water nowadays. We're not getting the vitamins and minerals that we normally would from spring-fed water. I'm on well water, so I'm getting way too many minerals. But I would recommend our multivitamin. We also have that multivitamin in capsule form. We have it in gummy form. We have it in straight to mouth form that allows you to take it like a pixie stick. So there's a lot of different options when it comes to the multivitamin side of things. And then for me, I think a daily driver for me, being 40 years old, and as I hit 40, I did get some blood work done. I urge everyone to get their blood work done because it is amazing the stuff you can learn from just getting a blood panel. Most insurances are going to cover it. What you're going to learn from that is the older you get, some numbers start going down. And we make a product called Ox that has derivatives of certain types of mushrooms that increase the testosterone levels. And so for me, I'm a lot more patient when my levels are a little higher. And so if I'm taking Ox, again, not a doctor, not a scientist, but the little bro science behind it is that the ingredients in Ox will help to increase the testosterone of natural testosterone production. And so I'm using my daily, whether I'm on the mountain or I'm here at home, is going to be starting with protein in the morning because your body is working all night while you're sleeping. I'll start with protein in the morning. My multivitamin, we have fish oil. Also take Ox straight out the gate in the morning. And then whether I'm on the mountain or I'm at home, I'll usually start with either Ignite. If I'm going into the gym, it's either going to be Yeti or Yeti mode. And I'll actually increase because I want to get a minimum for me personally. I'm 6'2", 230. I want to get at a minimum 5 grams of creatine in at some point in the day. A lot of that's going to come from your red meat, but if I can supplement that, if I am missing that mark, I've just filled that column. And then if I'm on the mountain, and I'm not on a regimented day, the biggest things that I take out there is going to be a handful of things, but things that, again, when you're on the mountain, ounces lead to pounds lead to pain. I'm not taking tubs of stuff out there. I'm taking a lot of our individual packs. And so I'll take Ignite out there. I'll take Hydrate out there. I'll take our electrolyte STM, which is straight to mouth. Again, the little pixie sticks. Those things come in real handy. And then one that we haven't talked about, which to me is a game changer out there, comes in 2 different versions, which is our Slumber product. 2 different formulas. I use them both here at the house and on the road traveling for work, but I also use them on the mountain because if you've ever slept on a mountain, it's so deathly quiet that I can hear my ears ringing. It could be the CTE from college football, but all I can hear is my ears ringing. So I need something to knock me out. And so I bring Slumber out there. We have them in gummy form, which is a little more melatonin, and it's got elderberry, which has it tricks your body into the tryptophan response. So post-meal, Thanksgiving, kind of get you ready to fall asleep. Whereas our drink mix, Sleepy Cocoa, tastes just like Swiss Miss hot chocolate. And you have access to hot water. You just pour it in your hot water. You can use milk if you're at home. But you hit that with a rapid mixer and down the hatch. You should tell your significant other they have 15 minutes to get whatever they need to get off their chest before you drink it, because 15 minutes from that point of you drinking it, you'll be knocking on Willy Wonka's door, and the vivid dreams that you'll get after that, you'll thank me.
That's funny. Yeah, my wife does the whole mouth tape thing, and I always love it because I know when she puts that on, I'm not going to hear her talk no more. So it's like, yeah, put it on. Go to sleep. I'm like, no, I can watch TV and quiet.
Any time of day she can use it, or is it just in the evenings? Because I've got 2 little boys that I might be able to use it on them as well.
I think you could, but like the school might call you with some questions like, hey, why is your son
CPS,
saying that you tape his mouth shut on a daily basis? Yeah.
Yeah.
So are there any
welcome
things
to
like
2024?
Yeah, no kidding. Is there anything that you think, like you mentioned creatine, and I think that I had this young man call me and he's going to be a college wrestler this year, and he's like, I need to start taking some supplements. I'm like, why? Like, why do you think you need to? First off, first question. Well, I'm going into college, got to get better, bigger, faster, stronger. And so we talked about some things, and basically I asked him the same questions you asked, like, okay, well, what do you eat? How are you sleeping? And how much water do you drink? And that was the first thing I told him. Okay, well, you're 18 now, you're going to be getting bigger and faster. I would immediately start taking creatine. That's something I would immediately start taking. I've always, I've always thought that fish oil, omega-3s were incredibly important. My family has my dad has heart issues, and so it's in my family. So I want to take care of that as much as I can. But is there anything else that you just think like, this is something that a lot of men need to take, like they're missing it, they're low on it. Vitamin, like any other supplement that you think just serves men really well?
Men, I mentioned ox, that to me, getting that blood panel done, learning that I had lower levels of testosterone, and that we have something that does assist in that. And I tested it myself. And to me, I think creatine is it's always been a staple of my diet, of my supplementation regimen. I mean, as far back as I can remember, I think I was in high school even. Being that it is one of the most widely researched supplements on the market ever, there are no contraindications, there are no downsides or side effects to taking creatine. If you take too much of it, you just have expensive pee. And so for me, that's pretty easy to follow along with. The benefits of it, though, for me, again, I'm a hillbilly from Indiana. Any cognitive enhancement that I can get, I will take. And there are a lot of studies showing there are cognitive benefits to the use of creatine. The other effect of that is it's helping your bodies. I'll get super nerdy bro science on you. The ATP and ADP recycling or refreshing or regeneration. ATP is a quick burst energy that we have in our human body to do something like a really quick sprint or a bench press, right? Quick burst energy. Once you only have so much in your body, and once it's expelled, it turns into ADP. And the time between it going from ADP back to ATP, it all depends on your creatine levels. And creatine is the one thing that helps it recycle and recover back to ATP quicker. And so that's why when you have football players, basketball players, athletes, hunters that are on the mountain, climbing into high elevations, that quick burst energy may deplete, but depending on your creatine levels, you can recycle that quick burst energy much, much quicker. The other benefits that I know really well are muscle mass improvement. It's going to help to better hydrate your muscles. So you're going to retain a little bit more water. A lot of the, let's call it the peanut gallery of those that are against creatine have always suggested that it makes you hydrate or your muscles fill up too much and you get big and bulky and it's going to hurt or damage your kidneys. Well, you're going to damage your kidneys if you're constantly dehydrated anyway. There is truth to the fact that your muscles are going to store water better, and that if you're drinking good water, the nutrients that you're getting from your water are going to end up in your muscle. So yeah, you improve your muscle mass. So there's a lot of key benefits to creatine use. I personally think it's one of the most important that we offer, oftentimes overlooked because people see it as a bodybuilding supplement, and they couldn't be further from the truth. There is another one that I think we nailed it on. Hydrate has been an overwhelming success for Mountain Ops, mainly because just like energy drinks, you can find hydration stuff everywhere. And, there was another brand, I'll say that it's, without naming it, I'll say it's Water IV. And Water IV is, I had a case of it, by the way, when we came out with Hydrate. I just threw it away because number one, it already tastes like cat pee. But it was a hydration thing and I needed all this sodium. But when you really get down to it, I'm not an ultra marathoner, right? I'm not an Ironman athlete. I'm not I sweat a lot, but I'm not depleting my entire body sodium stores doing a CrossFit workout. And so really we built a better mousetrap. And, this other brand is going to be high in sodium, but if you also flip it over on the back and actually read it, it's high in sugar. So when you go high in sodium, high in sugar, it's counterintuitive. And so what we did is we created a better mousetrap with a product called Hydrate. 1 gram of sugar, like careful, 1 gram of sugar, tastes great, 1,000 milligrams of electrolytes, and we went 6-to-1 potassium to sodium. So we still have the sodium in there, the suggested clinical level of, I believe it's 160, 180. We still have that in there. It's pink Himalayan salt. You can taste it in every drink. But what we did is we went 6 times that sodium level to potassium, because potassium is hard to supplement. Sodium, you can eat a bag of chips and you've got your daily store of sodium. Potassium is really hard to supplement. So they all come in individual stick packs. You throw them in a bottle of water. To me, they're lightning in a bottle, in a sense that I think we nailed it with that one. 4 really good flavors, soon to be 5. Stay tuned on that. I will say, a pineapple hydrate would be a pineapple hydrate would be really good. So maybe. But I think creatine. I think hydrate's really good. If your listeners have a hard time sleeping, if you go to mountainops.com and in the search bar, you type in samples or Mountain Ops samples, samplers, any of those terms, you're going to pull up a landing page full of samples. So if you're one of those try it before you buy it kind of people, granted, we're not Amazon. You can find our stuff on Amazon. You can also sample everything you want with Mountain Ops. And so I urge people specifically on slumber. Dylan, did you get any slumber?
I did not.
Oh, you're missing out. It's basically turned sleep. I know I'm going to be 40 in 2 weeks, but man, I look forward to sleep.
You're old, bro.
You see this? That's what happens when you buy 100-year-old farmhouse. But no, man,
everything
there's
a
lot that I think people can do without product. I think the product that we do make does help those that may be deficient in other areas of their health. We make some pretty sweet gear too, man. And we collaborate with a lot of really good partners. One thing I did want to kind of talk about, which is like massive, is we recently hit a milestone. Number one, we turned 10 years old, which we already kind of covered that. But the other milestone we hit is, for your listeners, this isn't a sales pitch. Mountain Ops, a portion of every purchase, whether you bought a hat, a shirt, Ignite, $1,000 worth of stuff, a portion of all transactions through Mountain Ops goes towards our philanthropy called Conquer Hunger. Conquer Hunger is packaging meals for hungry kids. And when I say it's legit as legit gets, I've packed a lot of them myself too. But we just hit a milestone of 6 million meals in 10 years that we've donated, that we've packaged, that we've donated. And now we're setting our sights on 10 million, which is ridiculous, but it's possible. A lot of logistics go into these events and things that we do, but the way that we do that, we do them with some of our manufacturing partners, our wholesale partners that carry our product in store. We're going to be doing one this spring at the National Wild Turkey Federation convention. I'm challenging some other podcasters to do them. To me, it's a small part of what we do, but a huge part of who we are. Sounds kind of cliche to say it, but it's true. It's been here since the beginning, and the long and short of that story, we have actually a production piece on this, is when Trevor Farnes, our CEO and co-founder, was trying to get Enduro, caffeine-free, arginine and citrulline to help with neuropathy issues and circulation issues. When he was trying to get that off the ground in the medical space, and I think it was 2008, if you're old enough to remember 2008, a lot of things happened in 2008 from a financial perspective that didn't help a lot of people. And Trevor, unfortunately, got stuck in that. And so being a devout religious family, he stuck with it. And he told his wife, if we make it out of this storm, there's a passage in the Bible that talks about loaves and fishes and multiplying the loaves and fishes. And so like I said, a portion of every transaction goes back to that Conquer Hunger mission. And therefore, we are multiplying our loaves and fishes. We're being provided these funds from our customers, and our customers are allowing us to multiply our loaves and fishes for those less fortunate. And it's a pretty cool mission to be a part of.
Guys, there's one fabric that if you're not wearing, you absolutely should be. It's a magic fabric. It changes everything about the way you layer, everything about the way you dress, everything about the way you hunt, and that is merino wool. I couldn't even begin to tell you all of the benefits of merino wool, and I'm going to miss some for sure. But guys, whether it's summer or whether it's winter, this is going to keep you cool in the summer. It's moisture wicking. It's going to pull the moisture away from your body, but it's also going to hold your heat in the winter. It is antimicrobial. It doesn't smell. It doesn't hold scent like other fabrics does. So if you're out on a 5-day hunt, you don't have access to a washer, this is not going to hold your scent. It's not going to get stinky and nasty. It's also quick drying. You can hang this up in your tent. You can hang it up on a clothesline. It's going to dry really quick. But the coolest part about merino, in my opinion, is that when it gets wet, it still maintains its warmth properties. So if there's a light rain or a snow and this gets wet, it's still going to keep me warm. There's no itch. It's non-allergenic. It's an amazing fabric. Minus 33. I stumbled upon minus 33 by accident. I was on backcountry.com and they were having a blowout sale. I needed some new merino for a hunt that was coming up. And so I dove in, I bought it. And when I got it, it was the softest, best merino I have ever felt in my entire life. I've not worn anything but minus 33 socks for everyday life, whether I'm hunting, hiking, or just, out for the day. I haven't worn anything but minus 33 socks in over a year and a half. Every single day I'm wearing their underwear. Every single time I'm out hunting, whether it's 100 or whether it's 5, I'm wearing some sort of beanie to cover up my chrome dome and to keep that covered up and warm or cool, whether if it's in the summer. But also that UV protectant. I like to wear it in the summer. Guys, minus 33 does merino, in my opinion, better than anybody else does it. Go check out minus 33 for all your merino wool. And if you haven't ever tried merino, guys, you are missing out. It will change the way you layer. It will change the way you hunt. Go check out merino wool and go check out minus 33. Guys, listen, I firmly believe in Mountain Ops. I mean, if you've been in the outdoor space at all, you've heard of Mountain Ops, you've seen Mountain Ops. I get it. They make incredible products, but honestly, I could care less about the products. There's a lot of supplement companies that make good products. Mountain Ops makes good products, but they also are an incredible company, like incredible people. When you hear about Conquer Hunger, I mean, they're literally taking the money that you're spending on their products to feed hungry children. And that makes it really easy to spend money with a company. That makes it really easy to stand behind a company and support them when you know that they're doing good. And again, it's not some, for every $1,000 you spend, we're going to feed one child. That's not how it is. 6 million kids have been fed meals because of Mountain Ops. That's incredible. But I firmly believe in the company because I can stand behind them and what they believe. Again, everybody that listens knows I'm a preacher. Mountain Ops is a religious company. They stand behind their beliefs. They represent their beliefs. They don't just say that they're a Christian company and then live however they want to live. And they put their money where their mouth is, and they're making a difference in the world. And so if you can't find the good in that to want to stand behind it, your wood's wet. Like, I don't know. You're crippled too high for crutches. I don't know what to tell you. If you're going to buy supplements from somewhere, why would you not buy them from a company that is going to feed hungry children and support the same things that you support and do a whole lot of good in our world?
Amen, man.
That's all I got to say. I mean, again, it's easy to stand behind the products. They're great products, but it's not always easy to stand behind a company. And with Mountain Ops, I can stand behind the products and I can stand behind the company. So guys, go check out Mountain Ops. Again, you've all heard them. I mean, if you've been to a Western Hunt Expo, you've walked by and sucked down some Ignite. I get it. I mean, I live off that crap at Western Hunt Expo. I just walk by and I drink like 10 gallons of it through Western Hunt Expo or Wild Sheep or wherever else, whatever other show I might be at. You've tried it. but I'm encouraging you to support a company that's making a difference in the world. That's what I'm encouraging you to do. So before we sign off, where can they check out the Jack Powers, the one and only?
They can check out the real Jake Powers on Instagram.
I said Jack.
Hey, Jack, Jake, it's all the same.
No,
I don't know who the real Jack Powers is, but you can find the real Jake Powers on Instagram.
Jack Powers, it doesn't have the same like superhero ring.
Well, Jack Bowers, I think was what show was that? Jack Bauer. It was Kiefer.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. No, you can find me on Instagram. I'm also the dancing monkey behind a lot of our social media because I'm the one that I have no shame. They tell me to do something, I do it. But no, just a couple keynotes for your listeners, potential customers, current customers of Mountain Ops. We got a lot coming up. We got a lot of really cool stuff. Obviously, we just got through our 10-year anniversary sale. That's always a scary time the next day because then we realize, holy crap, our inventory just got smoked. Good news is that our inventory levels are going to be at peak performance for the foreseeable future here in the next month or two. Brought some new manufacturers online to help with the scalability of the growth of our company. But also, we got a lot of new flavors coming out, a lot of really cool collaborations. I'm diving into some new demographics in the outdoor space where I personally experienced and have seen that there's a lot of undernourished athletes, whether it be maybe on the water, maybe in a cut cornfield over decoys. Those are areas where I feel like I don't see it as before we sign off, I'll tell you this. There's a lot of people in our industry from the supplementation and health space that are coming into the outdoor space seeing it as a market share opportunity. Whereas 99% of our employees at Mountain Ops are hunters, right? We're making outdoor performance supplements for hunters because that's who we are and that's who we care about. Tommy Boy reference. But where I was going with that is there's a lot of people coming to the outdoor space. They're drawn to the outdoor space for a market share opportunity. And I'm just not seeing it, man. It's not an authentic place to be. And so when we look at a new demographic, be it on the water ripping lips or be over decoys, potentially shooting ducks or geese, when we look at opportunities like that in demographics, it's not as a market share opportunity. We look at it as a group of people, us, that could benefit not only from our products, but maybe our culture could benefit from our mission, our core value, recognizing God in everything that we do. Sunday scripture, believe it or not, we have received on Instagram or Facebook. If you follow us on social, every Sunday, you're going to get a Sunday sermon or a Sunday scripture, and that's going to set the tone essentially for your week. We've gotten a lot of feedback that those Sunday scriptures, as quick and pointy as they are, have changed some lives. And so, like you actually said it best, and I appreciate that. Is we're a people company and a culture company before we're a supplement company or a brand. And so there's a lot of really good people inside the walls of Mountain Ops and outside the walls of Mountain Ops that represent our brand and do an incredible job. And I'm just, like I said, the dancing monkey that gets to talk about it quite a bit. I'm very blessed and very fortunate to do so. You
mentioned duck hunters. Duck hunters are the most undernourished people on planet Earth. They're the most undernourished people. Listen, I can say this. I grew up in Arkansas. I grew up hunting in Stuttgart, duck hunting capital of the world. Mm-hmm. And duck hunters, listen, you mentioned Casey's Pizza, which big fan. Like if I could pick
huge fan.
I love Casey's Pizza. But like duck hunters, dude, they'll be out on the river scouting and sleep in the boat, till 3 a.m. so they can get to the spot, and they're running on 2.5 hours of sleep and 4 grams of protein. And I mean, they're just going nut. Like duck hunters are a different breed. Duck hunters are slightly just,
you can say it.
Let's see.
Crazy.
Not all there. just a little bit on the twisted side. And again, I used to live and die off duck hunting. Like I would go before school, after school. I mean, I lived to duck hunt. I don't anymore because I realized just how stupid it is and how much work it is. But duck hunters are the most undernourished people on planet Earth. I'm just gonna say that.
No question. No question. Yeah. Well, I realized how dumb it was, and so I bought a duck dog and sent the dog to training, and now I have a new toy to play with. So now I got something new to bring it, bring a little more fire. But yeah, we did an April Fool's joke last April, and it was biscuits and gravy flavored Magnum, and the amount of people that were so mad that it wasn't real. And I'm pretty sure I know who those people were. The classification of those people. Yes, we're duck hunters, and they were duck hunters. So that may be something that we actually start to play with. Chicken and waffles is my idea. I love that idea. But again, it's not a market share opportunity. It's people that need it. It's people that need stuff. It's a culture that I feel like
absolutely.
It's me. It's who I am. It's who our ambassadors are. It's who the people in the office are. There's an opportunity to change people's lives in a duck blind, in a deer stand, and whether it has any product or branding on it, I don't care. The outdoors is something we're blessed with every day to get to do, to prepare for. I think the most fun part of deer hunting is the preparation for it. And that 10 seconds of glory that we all live for. As you get older, you start realizing when you have kids, it's like, no, the glory is in all the prep. And so I think a lot of that into what I do for a living with Mountain Ops, which is the director of community. Couldn't tell you what that means, but I can tell you what I'm responsible for, and making sure that the people that are representing our brand are doing so in a very impactful way, in a very authentic and genuine way, because we don't lead with product, we lead with culture. And like I said, man, I'm excited about where our brand's going, our company's going, our products are going, the ambassadors that we have on our team. It's going to be exciting, second half of 2024, but I think 2025 is going to be crazy. So I appreciate you having me on and letting me hopefully inform, but also take the time of your listeners to learn something new about whether it's supplements or diet or the brand. Like I said, I'm just excited to have a conversation with you and appreciate your support.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It has been a pleasure, guys. Again, I'm excited for next month. We've got Jared Thomas coming on, and Jared's a Mountain Ops guy. Jared, we date back and we've done some podcasting in the past. Always a phenomenal conversation. Love that guy to death. And so look forward to that conversation next month. However, next month, like we've already alluded to, we'll be headed to the mountains. So that's what we've all been working for. I mean, we worked 11 months out of the year for this 1 month to go chase them around the mountain. But I can tell you this from experience. I can tell you, just went on a spring bear hunt not too long ago, where I was running around the mountains of Montana, and Ignite and Hydrate make a massive difference. I mean, it really does. Just the mental clarity sitting behind the glass, just the mental clarity to sit there and look for bears. But also just the energy to get up the mountain. It makes a big difference. So check it out. Get you some on order. Get it there before September.
There is one item that we didn't mention since you talked about the mountains and your bear hunt. We also have a product that's pretty underrated. It got really big with our ultra marathoning community. If you're on Facebook, go to the Conquer More Facebook page. There's a group of assassins over there that just, I mean, they've got t-shirts called Never Miss a Monday for those guys. Like, they're all over it. But there's some ultra marathoners over there that freaked out when we ran out of Solitude. Solitude is technically a high altitude supplement that we have that helps with acclimating in high altitude. But they were using it in their ultras because it helps with VO2 max, or their overall output as ultra marathoners. But that is one product to mention. As people are preparing to go out west, think about the weight in your meals, think about the weight in your pack. Also think about elevation, because the one thing you don't want to do is been preparing all year. You've been saving up your cash to go buy that over the counter tag, hopefully, or maybe even you drew one. To spend all that money and time to get out there and get altitude sickness is just, it sucks. And we have a product called Solitude. You start taking it 2 weeks before you go out there. I'm not going to tell you what it does because I personally have no idea, but I can tell you it works. And the goal for that product is kind of crazy. The goal for that product is for you to feel no different at sea level than you do at 10,000 feet. And I can tell you it works. My buddy that I went up with, picked him up from Denver airport. We went on the mountain the next day, got up to 11.5 to start glassing up some elk, and his eyeball about popped out of his head. He did not take it, and I did take it. He was from sea level. I'm from sea level. There's two different, I use that as a case study, but the product's called Solitude. Look at it, check it out. Be prepared.
Yeah, it's something I'm anxious to try because I don't handle altitude well at all. Now, I mean, I know it's hard on everybody, but we were at a total archery challenge and it was a mountain archery fest. And I was just sleeping, but I was sleeping at like 10:05 and I couldn't even sleep at night. Like I couldn't even lay there and sleep because it was just like I could never get a breath at night. And so I struggle with altitude, and I didn't take it going to Montana, which we never really got above 8. But I'm really excited to try it for September, heading out to the mountains because I've always struggled with altitude. So I'll be a good test to see how big of a difference it makes. So yeah, guys, go check that out for sure.
From a price point perspective, it's in line because I do believe, don't you have something that could help them with that?
Yes.
A code or something?
You can use code TYPICAL, all caps, typical, save yourself some money. Again, my mom, here's what made me mad. My mom said, well, I don't want to save money. If they're going to support feeding hungry people, I don't want to use your code. I don't want to save money. I want them to get all my money. And I'm like,
God bless her. God bless her.
No, good for you.
No, hey, you know what? Good on your mom. But it's 2024 and the recession is here, and it's a long way to November. It's a long way to November. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, a really long way. So guys, go check out Mountain Ops. Use code TYPICAL. Get it cheaper. Now, I'm anxious to see what you guys can come up with for a hair growth supplement. That way the listeners don't have to keep looking at this chrome dome. And man, I think I'll scare off a lot of animals because it just shines bright. But which you'll help outdoorsmen. So come up with a hair growth supplement.
It's a good look. I don't think we're not going to the minoxidil business, but that's why we make headgear. So hey, we make hats for it. Go. So yeah, yep.
I'll have to order a Mountain Ops hat to cover up the chrome dome.
There you go.
Guys, if you're a traditional archer and you have not checked out Three Rivers Archery, what are you waiting for? Three Rivers Archery is your one-stop shop for all things traditional archery. They have the largest in-stock selection of traditional archery equipment anywhere. Same-day shipping, very, very, very knowledgeable. Listen, I use Three Rivers all the time. If I've got a question on tuning, if I've got a question on broadheads, if I've got a question on brace height or anything like that, I use Three Rivers for everything. They know the products because they use the products. Three Rivers Archery is by far the gold standard when it comes to traditional archery. So guys, if you're just getting into traditional archery, I would encourage you to use Three Rivers as a resource for knowledge and understanding and growing and learning, and as a place to get all those products that you're going to be needing as you take this journey.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. Y'all have a fantastic week.